When it comes to absolute trust, things that we don't put hardly any thought, we don't put any thought into whatsoever. We just trust that they are going to be what they are. As simple as getting up in the morning and taking a deep breath. We don't think about how our lungs are going to fill themselves with air, or that the fact that the air is going to be there to fill our lungs up. We just trust that it's there without any thought whatsoever. Or that maybe the bus is going to show up and it's going to take us to school, and that same bus is going to be there to drop us off at home. Or that there's going to be a roof over our head at night, or food to eat so we don't starve. These are absolute trusts, things that we put zero thought into. Now, if we take that same idea and now we apply it to God, those of us that have professed Jesus Christ as Lord, and we've been sealed by the Holy Spirit, shouldn't we put that same trust transfer to the Lord? Shouldn't we put that total absolute trust in Him? But yet we don't. We have trouble with this. It's something that we as believers, it's probably one of the hardest things that we struggle with. Why? Why do we have such a hard time with this? Because we know that God doesn't ever break a promise. It tells us in Numbers 23:19, it says, God is not a man, so He does not lie. He is not human, so He does not change His mind. Has He ever spoken and failed to act? Has He ever promised and not carried it through? No, the Lord always fulfills His promise, and we can put our faith and trust in Him always. And we see this displayed perfectly in the next judge that we're going to be talking about in our series, Deborah. We see these two people in this story. One, you got Deborah. She puts her total trust in the Lord, and we see that work out really well. And then we have this guy named Barak, which is a commander in the Israelite army, that doesn't really put his trust in the Lord. He transfers it and puts it on a woman instead. And as a result, he misses out on something really great. He misses out on the honor that the Lord is going to give him of delivering the enemy. You remember, we've been in this series. It's this cycle. The Israelites, they're following the Lord. They turn away from following the Lord, and they start worshiping idols, and then God sends them into slavery from these people. Well, now here they are in slavery again to these people called Canaan, and have this king Jabin, and they've been suppressed for a while. Well, they cry out to the Lord for help, and the Lord answers their prayer by raising up this woman, this prophetess. That's a person that's a messenger of God that relays His messages to the people. Her name is Deborah. Well, in the story, Deborah rises up, and she hears the word of the Lord come to her, and she calls this guy named Barak. And in it, she says, in chapter 4, it says, then Barak, she said, now she sent and summoned Barak, the son of Abinadab, from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, behold, the Lord your God of Israel has commanded, go and march to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men from the sons of Naphtali and from the sons of Zebulun. Those are two of the tribes in Israel. I will draw out Sisera, this is the commander of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his many troops to the river of the Kishon, and I will give him into your hand. So this is the word of the Lord coming to her, and she's telling Barak, hey, the Lord's going to deliver these people into our hands, so I want you to go and take 10,000 troops and go wipe them out. But Barak obviously has some sort of fear or something, because he responds with this. It says, then Barak said to her, if you will go with me, then I will go. But if you will not go with me, I will not go. So that means he's not putting his trust in the Lord. He's afraid, and he wants Deborah to go with him to the front line of this army. So he's putting his trust in her instead of it in God. And I think a lot of us can relate to this kind of thing. Maybe not necessarily to a woman, but we transfer our trust to something else instead of putting it in God. So what ends up happening, it says, then Deborah rose and went with Barak to Kadesh, or she said to him, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the honor shall not be yours on this journey that you are about to take, for the Lord will sell Sisera into the hands of a woman. And that's exactly what happens. They end up going to battle, and they go to war, and they end up defeating the enemy. Sisera, the leader of the commander of this army, he flees, and he goes to an ally into this tent of another woman. And what ends up happening is this woman, she ends up giving him milk, covering him up, and she basically sabotages him, and she takes a tent peg and she nails it into the side of his head, and she kills him. Well, then when Barak came, she brings him out. She's like, hey, I got to show you something. I'm the one that actually killed this guy. So Barak, instead of him putting his trust in the Lord, because he didn't, he missed out on something awesome. And I think we can all relate to this. How many times has the Lord called you to go do something for Him, and you've said no? You see, in Isaiah it says, here I am, send me, Lord. But often we're like, here I am, Lord, send them. And as a result of this, we end up missing out on something amazing that the Lord could have used us to do. And I think that you guys can relate to this too. See, we're supposed to put our transfer and trust in the Lord always. It tells us in Proverbs, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. But why do we have so much trouble with this? See, in our groups, we're going to get real tonight, and we're going to look through these things, and I cannot wait to hear how it goes.